Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Magandang gabi lahat to everybody. It's Patrick DC coming at you from California, and we are live tonight. And what we wanted to do is talk a little bit about what's happening with us with the coronavirus pandemic and how it's affecting some of us, because some of us might be experiencing stress and anxiety. Di ba? Parang nai-stress tayo sa nangyayari. But before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to my friends, 3K's Twins. Hi, thanks for joining us, my friend. At saka si Maria Miadera. Kung hindi nyo pa, if you don't know each other yet, teka, let me figure out how to do this, and then you guys can meet each other. How's that? There's 3Ks. Thank you for coming and joining us. I certainly enjoy your videos with your children and the twins and Miss Maria Miadera. Thank you for joining us tonight. So again, what we're going to be doing is just talking a little bit tonight about managing stress and anxiety during the coronavirus update. I've got my friend that I'm going to join on our chat right now. There we go. Andre. Andre is joining us there, and he has his headset in. I see that. And a couple disclaimers for us. We always do this. So my friends, this video is for entertainment purposes only. We are not sharing medical information. We're just sharing our own experiences with you. So tonight's topic, ang pag-uusapan natin is stress and anxiety, because during coronavirus pandemic, during COVID-19, life is different, right? Ang buhay natin iba. And as life is different, we might be feeling a little bit of the anxiety of the change of times. We might be feeling a little bit of stress. So we'll talk a little bit about how we're managing that. How are you, Andre?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. So we had a couple people come on already. We said hi to our friends 3K Twins and Maria Miadera. So Andre, you're joining us. And how are things up there with your coronavirus pandemic? Has things changed for you?
Well, starting Friday, the governor of Washington State has mandated that all citizens wear a mask if they are going to be outside in public, or if they're going to be indoors now, as well, indoors, anywhere in public indoors, as well as if you're outside and you cannot keep a safe distance, like 6 feet apart, then you must wear masks. So now it's they're not really intending on using the cops to enforce this per se, but it will be technically a misdemeanor if you do not wear a mask now, because the numbers are beginning to grow in certain counties in Washington State. There's the Yakima County, which is um, about 3 hours away from Seattle, which has been experiencing quite a few spikes at this point in time. So we're just governor's trying to mitigate any further worsening of the pandemic in Washington State. But we are still in stage 2, just in the county where I live.
Stage 2, okay.
Yes.
So I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with the staging and all that, but of course, when we have uh, the governor speaking for each of the different states, I know here in California, the governor did speak and made comment about mandatory masks, right? Mandatory masks. So, okay lang
Right, it
siya.
is mandatory.
We have to wear
Right.
masks when we go out, right?
It's now in newer states now, they're being made mandatory. In New Jersey and other states, just because there's now spikes in the coronavirus in at least, I'd say, more than 20 states now out of the
Mm-hmm.
50. So it's becoming a problem again. You just can't be too complacent.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
trouble is that you see a lot of images
media about how people are out and about and forget that there's a pandemic just because they may have gone to an increase.
To forget that, oh, but supposed to be wearing masks and trying to protect one another despite it,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
going up in stakes. So,
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that they're looking at, masks, Diba. So I think in other places, other countries too, I'm sure that they're following that masking mandate. Here, they're absolutely doing that. So are you finding, how are you managing in this new environment?
well, I think, I mean, I try to wear masks whenever I'm in public because I know being in a healthcare profession that's very important. I don't want to, if I were to be an asymptomatic carrier, I don't want to transmit it to others around me. So I like to do my part. I find it, however, I find it a little disheartening when I go out and see a lot of people that don't wear masks. I find it, uh, a little bit disappointing in people. There
Hmm.
are, you see, especially in the news, you see, especially with the protests that are going on right now, not everyone's wearing masks. And I don't want to go into, but you see, when there's large gatherings, say in beaches and parks or political arenas, a lot of people aren't wearing masks, so that can be a little bit troubling.
Hmm.
And we won't see the repercussions probably for another couple of weeks or more because of the incubation. Number of days of incubation can be up to 2 weeks for the virus to incubate before you start seeing those symptoms. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bet who knows what we'll be seeing in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's the hard part. That's the thing that we're worrying about too, right? So as we do things today, we won't see the repercussions for 7, 10, 14 days from now. So really protecting yourself now is key. Wearing your masks, maintaining social distancing. I did talk a little bit about that social distancing in a previous video. So really it's just maintaining the distance between people, right?
Yeah,
Maintaining distance between people so that we can help slow that spread of the disease.
that's very important. I know it's hard, especially since we've been cooped up in our homes, many of us. But now is not the time to be complacent,
Yeah.
especially if we want to try to advance to higher stages in where you live.
Hmm.
Like for instance, I've had to. I mean, we've all made sacrifices. Um, I live a couple of hours away from.
Where I usually go home for during the weekend to see family, and so it's been um, difficult. Um,
Members and friends, but I think the last thing you want to do, I'd feel very bad if I were to transmit viruses to uh, members of my family or friends. So you just have to keep that in mind.
Right, right. Yeah. So that's important for you. Um, to protect your family because you being a frontline care, you're a physician, you're a doctor out there that's providing direct care, so you are exposing yourself. So yeah, you want to be cognizant and aware of protecting your family and your kids, and that's truly a sacrifice that you're making being away from them. Yeah. So one of the things that I just wanted to share, we really do want to eat healthy and keep nutrition and hydration in mind. So as we go through our talk tonight, one of the things that we want to share and talk about is how are we going to manage our stress and anxiety? First of all, you have to recognize that there has been a change in your lifestyle, and how we do things. Something as simple as going out and buying groceries, going to the restaurant. My wife and I enjoyed going to restaurants for happy hour. We enjoyed going out and having a glass of wine, having something to eat, taking the family out even for dinners out, and all of that has changed. Hindi tayo, we can't go out. Hindi tayo pwedeng lumabas as much as what we did before. So with that change in our lifestyle, in our change in our lives, that sometimes causes the anxiety and the stress, diba? And so one of the things that we can do to help keep ourselves healthy is just to eat healthy. Our cycles and our systems and our everyday lives have changed, right? But remembering, eat on time, right? You still have to eat on time, even though, di ba yung mga bata, the kids have no school, right? And so they're doing online school, katulad nung your kids siguro, right? My kids,
Mm-hmm.
my youngest one did online. He did virtual classes, but we still try to keep him on a schedule. He has to wake up at a timely hour. Has to have breakfast. I don't want him having breakfast at 11 o'clock, right? So eating on
Right.
time, eating nutritious meals on time, that's important, and that helps us, especially now in our area, umiinit. It's hot, so you have to have nutrition and hydration in mind. Even if you're not thirsty, I always tell people, get that glass of water, get that drink in you, because nutrition and hydration is key.
Oh, yeah, it's very important. Nutrition and hydration is key in boosting your immunity, for instance, and keeping you healthy, to make you less susceptible to viruses. So, especially the coronavirus. So, just keeping that in mind. I like what you made the point earlier about keeping a food schedule, eating prep, at the appropriate times. Just in one way to reduce stress is just to have a schedule in place every day. It's more. It would be more stressful to try to find things to do or have sort of a haphazard type of schedule than it is having something that you know you'd be doing every day. So just having this schedule in daily basis, knowing what you're going to be doing and doing the task that you need to do
Yeah,
is one way to alleviate stress. Just one simple way, among other things that we'll be talking about, of course.
yeah, important stuff. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, and feed us some info on this, Andre, exercise, because we all know that it's important to exercise, keeping active physical activity. And what are your thoughts on that?
Right. Let me just get my audio working here again. Just to
I
go.
know it's been on and off. Are you fully charged up there?
Yeah, I am. Okay. So, what was your question about exercise?
Oh, exercise. So that's another item that I wanted to make sure of, that people are aware of exercise, diba? So exercise to help
Yeah,
reduce stress and anxiety. What are your thoughts on that?
absolutely. Exercise, well, it's very important to exercise. It creates endorphins and it releases various chemicals and neurotransmitters that boost immunity. So, keeps you healthy.
Makes you feel good. Um, you do have to be creative in this time of COVID, however, because
Gyms are closed. And so, what I've had to do, and I live in a multi level apartment where I'm on the top floor, I've had to purchase, few things, just some weights, and luckily I've had a bench that I can use for various exercises. But there are a lot of weight. If you don't have any equipment, there are a lot of weight bearing exercises that you could do where you don't need extra equipment. Actually, your body is the weight of your body is good enough, and you can find many resources. I use a lot of YouTube, a lot of fitness vlogs and sites you can go to. There's bodybuilding.com, and there's all sorts
Yeah,
of fitness magazines you can go to just to give you some ideas. Especially, what I've noticed over the last few months is there are a lot of sites and examples of exercise you can do during the pandemic. So those are pretty good as well to follow. Plus, you want to be able to go outside in a safe manner because you want to be able to enjoy fresh air, and plus do some activities outdoors, whether it be just going for a nice walk or jog or run. You can go biking. You can do a lot of things safely using social distancing in the outdoors. So that's very important as
yeah,
well. So just trying to find a balance of exercise indoors and outdoors.
yeah. So I wanted to give a quick shout out. It looks like Mom Shidel came and joined us. So I know that we have the Three Ks twins, Maria Miadera and Mom Shidel. So we're just talking, Mom Shi, about stress and anxiety during this coronavirus pandemic. And then if someone will show me, maybe we can figure that out. I'm not quite sure how to create uh, to put these jackets on you guys so you can meet each other as well and drop your links. Hey, Andre, um, I
Yes,
like your comment on that creativity piece. So you've got your own dumbbells at home. And that's one thing that I think is important for us to find a way to be creative with that exercise regime. For those people who are going to the gyms regularly, going out and participating in exercise that way, that's probably not going to happen these days because of social distancing. So yeah, we do have to be creative. And that creativity also helps us with motivation, and it also helps us to keep up with something that we want to enjoy. So being creative with your time of the day, being creative with the types of activities that you're doing with your exercise, that's good.
absolutely.
Playing with some of these. So for one of my Father's Day gifts, Dre, is the kids gave me these little filters for my
Oh,
camera.
yeah,
So that's
let's
kind
see.
of neat. So I'm just
Oh,
messing around with
yeah, that is
these
cool.
as we're going
Are
on.
they different? Are they like different shades of the different?
Yeah, that last one was some
Yeah,
star piece, and
yeah.
fish eye. They've
Fish
got
eye.
different ones. Yeah, they've got different ones. Here's another one.
Oh,
There's
that's
my
cool.
my
Is
my
that spider?
kaleidoscope. It's
Okay,
the kaleidoscope.
that's how flies see.
So just playing around with those.
That's pretty cool. Do you have different colors as well?
No colors. There's just different kaleidoscopes,
Right.
fisheye, just
Yeah.
different refractory.
Uh
It
huh.
just bends the lens a certain way to give you a different look.
What would be a really big store is if you had something that made you look 10 pounds lighter.
Oh, that or 30 pounds
I'd like that one. Really.
bulkier, like you are.
Oh, maybe. Oh, I wouldn't say that. The
So I
fish
know
eyes
three
looks pretty
cases there.
cool.
She's
Yeah.
so three cases a friend of mine that we've been watching each other's videos and kind of getting to know each other a little bit.
Great.
So she's kind of neat. Maria Miadera also has been
Hello.
following us, so that's kind of nice. Um, Mom, she's there as well. Mom, she Dells. Um, would be nice if you guys got to know each other as well. So if you guys haven't connected, feel free to check each other's links out. All right. So now what other things are you wanting to advise on?
Well, besides physical health, there are issues related to mental health. As you
Yeah,
know, mental health issues don't go away during the pandemic, and actually can be exacerbated during the pandemic, as you know, because with added stress and compounded with the fact that often the resources that many of these people need are often unavailable at times of pandemic because offices are largely closed. But luckily, there's a lot of practices transitioning to telemedicine and where you can actually, talk to a healthcare provider about your mental issues. So that's becoming more and more accessible nowadays. So it's
yeah,
just if most of us, I'd say, know someone who has some form of mental illness. I think it's important for us to reach out to people that we know that may be affected and just reach out and say, hey, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Is there anything you need? And sort of offer your supports and so forth. So it's just we can't forget about mental health issues as well during this time.
yeah, yeah. Neat. Rest and relaxation is important. I threw that up there. I think
Yep,
that's
that
important
is
for you to
key.
get proper rest during this. I think when our cycles are broken, especially for people whose work cycle or their school cycle may have been affected and impacted, it's still important to maintain proper rest and relaxation. So going to bed on time, going to bed at the same time relatively each night, rising at the same time in the morning, all of that will help keep your body in sync in terms of proper rest and relaxation. And you talked a little bit about it, Dre, but mental health and mental well-being is important. And so meditation and mindfulness, I also feel, is something that you can think about during this time, right? Just finding
Absolutely.
time to pause, focus on something as simple as your breathing, or focus on an object, or focus on something that will just help realign you and bring you to full mindfulness of what's happening today and what's happening in your world.
I think that's very important. Using
Total body health, not only your physical health, but your mind health. I think those
break a few parts more than others. So
We're
healthy
toggling
body,
back and
healthy
forth,
mind.
Andre. Your
Correct.
microphone,
Correct.
your microphone
Oh,
is toggling back and forth.
I mean, I know it does do that. Does that affect the audio on your end?
Yeah, because you cut out for a bit.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, maybe I'll just turn. I won't use the headphones now. Let's turn these off. Hold on for 1 second. And these were fully charged, by the way.
No, no worries.
Yeah.
So what we're just talking about is meditation and mindfulness. So that's one of the ways that we feel that you can help manage this situation. Um, Easing anxiety about what the future holds. And really, it's just focusing on the present moment. And that's all mindfulness really is, just focusing on the present moment.
absolutely, I completely agree with that. So, um, yeah, just you can't really worry about what's going to happen in the future necessarily. I mean, you can try to be prepared, but a lot of this is out of our control. Until hopefully if our good scientists will find a vaccine very soon. Hopefully, sometime later this year or early next year, and that's what we can hope for. Meantime, we have to do our part to prevent spread and transmission of the virus, and also to maximize our own health and immunity, so that we can be healthy during this time as well.
Sure, sure. So one of the other things that I wanted to talk about really is just feeling accomplished. I think feeling accomplished is important. Getting things done. So as you're feeling accomplished, basically what that means is make sure that every day you're doing something and you're completing something so that you feel like there was purpose to your day. With or without COVID-19, with or without the pandemic, I think that's important so that every day you feel like you've accomplished something, right? So it could be
Absolutely.
something as simple as, this YouTube channel really just started out with having fun with something during the pandemic. I can't travel, I can't go around or travel and go places, so I kind of found this as a way to get connected and doing something productive. So I'm enjoying this.
Absolutely. I know if you know me, which you do, I tend to procrastinate. So when I want to get things accomplished, I know what I like to do is make lists of things to do and prioritize them and have the most important things on the top. You don't necessarily need to do those do everything in order, but if you can do, one or two tasks on the list every day, and eventually you'll get through all your tasks, and you'll definitely feel more accomplished and thereby less stressed out that you haven't been doing the things that you need to do. So, um, also finding someone to be accountable to. So if you say you're going to do something, tell someone, let them know this is what I plan on doing, and they can check up on you, see if how well you're doing with your goals. I think that's very important. So let your goals be known to others, and have them encourage you along the way, so you can get your things accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's an important thing to think about as well. The other thing, the other thing that I had thought was just staying connected with others. I know that we've talked about social distancing, but that doesn't mean we still can't connect. Like you and I have connected more through social media and through FaceTime, Zoom, Skype. and YouTube over the last couple of months than we have in a while. So just staying connected with others, calling people, checking up on people. I know that in my neighborhood, there's some elderly people that live near us here, and just connecting with them and talking with them, even from a distance, that I think is it makes for a good well-being and sense of well-being for oneself.
Absolutely. I think it's very important because of technology nowadays. There's almost no excuse not to stay connected, and you can talk to anyone around the world essentially that you wanted to. And even if you can talk to people you just made online as well, like for instance right now, we have many friends coming on trying to meet new people. That's a good way of meeting others that for people that you want to learn more about and explore. So yeah, being staying interconnected with one another is very important because we're all in this together. And I think if we stay, if we have a sense of unity and togetherness, then this pandemic can be beaten.
Yeah, yeah. So I just want to see about our friends, 3K's twins, Maria Miadera and Momshi Dells. If you guys are still around, drop us a message, and we'd certainly want to hear from you. And then while I try to figure out how to help you guys, yeah, I'm not sure how to help you guys get to know each other better, but let's figure that out. So the other things that we were talking about, or one of the other things that I wanted to talk about, is just this: being kind. Small acts of kindness, I think, are big things, right? Small acts of kindness are big things. So one of the ways that you could help manage your stress and anxiety is just by generally being kind. I think by being kind, it gives you that sense of, again, sense of well-being, and it helps spread positivity around you, whether it's around your home, your neighborhood, your city, your workplace, wherever you are. Being kind, I think, is going to be helpful in today's environment and in any environment.
Oh, absolutely. Um, what I've noticed in this pandemic is just the overwhelming sense of kindness that others have done, especially in donating their time and in helping others who may be affected by the pandemic. I have
Yeah.
friends who make food for and donate their time to make and bring food to
Mm-hmm.
various healthcare workers and firefighters and so forth. Um, just volunteering their time to make sure people have the needs that they have. If you have, for instance, I know a lot of businesses are using a lot of say their ingredients or any of their services that aren't normally being used because of the pandemic. They're donating these to various people, and that these various acts of kindness, it just brings us so much closer together, letting us know that there are others that are still that still care about you despite feeling isolated,
Yeah.
perhaps in this pandemic type of setting. So
Yeah. 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 And that's true. I think when you act in a kind way, you act in a kind manner, that positivity just spreads from you. And it kind of
Mm.
reminds me of that analogy of you throw a pebble into the lake and it hits the lake, and then the ripples just spread outward. So as you do perform acts of kindness, one, it spreads positivity around you. It embraces the community in one. Some of the examples that you've cited are true. Some of those examples where business owners in the local community are doing things for those who they feel are on the front lines. I know that here in the hospitals, healthcare settings, there were restaurants that were donating food and meals to help feed the front lines. Um, for individual people, I mean, checking in on a person that lives alone, the elderly person that lives alone, just picking up and calling a friend and sharing positivity and just sharing conversation and time. I think that's important because all these little things that you do add up, right?
They certainly
That quick phone call, that quick a text message to a friend might be all that's needed to help pick them up for that day, right?
absolutely completely agree. Yeah, it all adds up and exponentially, and it becomes contagious, just like the virus. So you want to use this type of contagion to combat the coronavirus contagion. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's funny how we do the play of words. You want the
yes,
kindness to be contagious,
right, exactly. You
and
don't want the virus.
you want to be positive in a positive mindset, but not positive in the coronavirus aspect.
There you go. There you go.
So maintaining that kind of positivity. Yeah. So what have you done in the last week or so that you think helped you reduce your personal anxiety or your personal stress level?
Okay. Well, luckily, when our state reached stage two, we were allowed to meet in small groups. Of course,
Yeah.
using the 6 feet, or using being smart, using masks and so forth. So I was able to meet with some local family here in the Washington States, and shared a meal. So that was fun because I haven't done that in 3 months at all since this all
Right.
started. So that was one. Meeting with family members at near the border at the Peace Arch Park. This is before they closed the Canadian entrance. We were able to meet at the park with some Canadian family members and just spend. I was able to spend a couple of hours with them there, and we didn't have to cross the border. So this was one way
And
American Canadians
even
could.
just a couple of hours, that was great.
It's a couple of hours great because that was the first and probably the last time I'm able to do that since now they've closed the Canadian section of that park, unfortunately. Um, and hopefully they'll reconsider and reopen that once things improve, of course. So
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah. There's little things you can do. So that's personally what I've done. I've just tried doing more things out of doors and trying to reconnect with people. So it's those are these things that really can alleviate the stress and just make me not
Nice.
feel all cooped up inside as I have been over the last 3 months.
Nice. And I just want to give a shout out. It looks like Lovely 14 has joined us. So 3K's twins, Maria Miadera, Momshi Dells, and Lovely 14 has come and joined us. Thanks for dropping us a message. Tamsak na siya. So mabute. Salamat. And Lovely, we're just talking about stress and anxiety during COVID. Paano tayo handling our stress and anxiety in a positive way, in a good way. So thank you for that. And then if you haven't connected yet or haven't met Mom Dells, Maria Miadera, or 3K's twins, feel free to hit them up and visit their pages as well. So they've been nice supporters of our chat tonight. So
Absolutely.
Andre was talking a little bit about Washington State and going up to. So I know that some of our viewers tonight are Canadian. Some of them are from Vancouver. And so the Peace Arch Park, which is White Rock, that's where you drove up to Peace Arch Park
Great.
from Seattle to
It's
meet up with your family in White Rock.
Unfortunately, we're not able to do that now. They did close the Canadian portion of
Hmm.
the entrance last Thursday evening. So,
Yeah.
but hopefully that will open up again soon once if numbers improve. At least in Washington State, I know Canada is very leery of the increase in coronavirus rates here in this state. So we're watching this very closely. Plus, there was a lot of traffic actually on the Canadian side, which really was their initial impetus to close down that part. It was just more of a safety issue.
Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing that we were looking at, let's see here, it's I think I've gone through most of it. I think the last one really is just take a break. from the news. I think as we talk more and more about what we're seeing on the news, what we're hearing on the news, it does tend to get to us, and it does tend to impact our psyche and our mentality and our thought processes. It helps drive anxiety up. So, one, I say, if you are listening to the news, which we all need to be aware of what's happening, make sure that the news that you're listening to is from a credible source, right? And then make sure that you do bite sizes of it. Don't sit and listen to it all day, because you hear um, information overload, maraming information that's being given, and it would just impact you in a negative way. So um, being aware to take a break from the news once in a while, right?
Well, that's very important. Um, what I like, some news stations, they often do, the end of news with some positive news, which is, I think, it's a good way to balance out all the negativity we hear on TV. So, just trying to look for positive stories that you can find on TV or online. There are a lot of great things that people are doing for the well-being of others. You want to find uplifting stories. Um, just spend your time. Also looking for happy things that might bring you pleasure and happiness rather than just all the negativity. So
Yeah, that's true. So those are really it. So you want to share anything about what else you're doing to stay healthy?
well, I know that what you've been doing. Can I share some of the things you've been doing?
Go for it.
Well, I know that recently, since the pandemic, I think you've been cooking more at home, haven't you? So that's one good way of relieving stress. I know I
Yeah,
like to
yeah,
cook myself. It can be very therapeutic,
yeah,
but it allows you to create healthy meals that are non-processed, and you know what's in there. You know the
yes,
ingredients you're putting in without all these
yeah,
additives.
yeah,
That's very important, and it's a very good stress reliever if you have enough time in the day to make a meal. It can be a lot of fun and very rewarding because you can see your family and yourself enjoying it as the end result of it, at least. So
yeah.
yeah,
So I'm going to go back to this: feel accomplished, get things done. So I
yes.
think that brings a bit of it. So the last you called me out on it. The last few months now, I've been able to enjoy time in the kitchen. I get home and I'll make the dinner meal. Tonight was neat. Did a dry rub chicken, and threw that in the oven. So that was neat. And I made some. It's sotanghon. We made some
Oh,
with the
nice.
thin noodles.
Fried noodles. Yeah.
So really thin noodles. Boil that up. Put some chicken broth in it, vegetables. So we had
Yeah.
that with chicken.
Sounds
So
delicious.
that was something that I was able to make. But
All right.
again, feeling accomplished, getting things done. So
All
that
right.
small, 30 or 45 minute of meal preparation. At the end of it, when you're sitting with the family and you're having the meal with the family, you feel, and the kids, man, without fail, thanks dad, thanks mom. If I'm making the meal, if Trisha's making the meal, thanks dad, thanks mom. And it really is rewarding and it feels good. So hey, thanks for
Absolutely.
bringing that up.
One of the things I know I've been personally doing, one of the things I've always wanted to do since, say, high school, and it's taken me this long, was to learn how to speak Tagalog well. So I know I can
Ah,
understand it quite well, but in terms of trying to conjugate verbs and speaking it grammatically correct, I've not really had opportunity until this pandemic, which has given
okay,
me so much time to
okay,
actually sit down, learn some Tagalog grammar.
okay,
Just going through using flashcards, using books, and using a lot of resources online, listening to a lot of conversations, YouTube vlogs, Tagalog vlogs. So over the last couple of months, I think it's really brought me a lot of joy actually in trying to learn a new language. Well, not completely new, but at least
nice.
trying to express myself vocally in that way, because it's something that I've always wanted to do. And now, this is one of the blessings that I guess the pandemic gave me, is that I've actually have a new appreciation for the Tagalog language and the Filipino culture,
Yeah,
and just trying to get back to my Filipino roots. So, yeah, just finding I think finding something that maybe on your bucket list of things to do, the pandemic can be a good opportunity for you to do. So there's really anything you've almost everything you've wanted to do. This now is a good time to do it. Within reason, of course. So um, it was So I'm hoping to get better and better, and we can do a Filipino only talk maybe in a few months when I'm ready. So.
Okay. We can do that, or we can try a little bit of Tagalog now. Pwedeng mag-usap ng Tagalog ng konti.
Hindi masyadong ako magaling magsalita ng Tagalog.
Okay, maghirap tayong mag-Tagalog together, sabay.
Sabay tayo. Okay, sige.
Sabay tayo. O sige, mag-shoutout muna tayo kay 3K's Twins. Nandito siya, nag-sign on siya at nag-thumbsuck na siya. I figured out what thumbsuck is a little while ago. It's thumbs up. It's thumbs up.
Ganyan.
Ganyan daw, thumbsuck siya. And Maria Miadera, hello sir, sabi niya, thumbs up din siya. At saka Ma'am Shidels, hello, what's up guys? God bless, sabi niya. So, maganda yun na nagbitaw siya ng blessing, di ba? Okay. At saka 3K's Twins, nandito rin, nag-thumbsuck din siya. And Lovely 14. Lovely 14 is a friend of mine from British Columbia. So mabuti.
Taga Vancouver? Or
hindi ko alam kung anong
taga saan sa BC?
Hindi ko alam kung anong barangay siya. Pero alam ko BC siya.
Okay.
Yeah. And so mabuti na nandito sila. Ang gusto kong matutunan kung paano mag-jacket sila para mag-meet din sila. Kasi pagpunta ng iba sa live stream, gusto rin makilala ang ibang tao. Pero hindi ako marunong maglagay ng jacket. Kaya para mag-ano sila. I'll learn it soon. I'll learn it though.
Look it up on Google.
Yeah. So those are kind of some of the things that we've been talking about here.
Yeah. I think it's a great time to explore yourself and do things you've always wanted to do, but maintain good health and immunity all at once. So.
Yep. So it's been nice. We've been, the last 3/4 of an hour or so, we've just been talking about sharing our experiences on how we can curb anxiety, manage our stress through coronavirus, this pandemic. So it's been nice to be able to share that with you all. As Andre and I go through the rest of the last quarter hour here, we'll go through and recap everything. And hopefully that's beneficial and useful and helpful for you. But one of the things that we wanted to share is, again, even though he's got and I've got medical backgrounds, we're not dispelling any medical information. What we're doing is just sharing our experiences.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, I want to share one last thing. One other thing that some people might find very helpful, for those who are religious or believe in God and so forth. Just prayer, and I know a lot of churches are no longer being done in person, but there are ways online to stay connected with members of your church, and also with the services that you may not be able to attend in person. So keeping that. Just sort of keeping up with that is very important if that's something that you guys something that you're interested in. So I know personally our family, we try to have prayer meetings, once a month with our church group, and so I find that to be very useful. We can share each other's experiences during this pandemic, and then say a lot of prayers.
Yeah.
Hoping just praying together this pandemic will soon, come to a successful end, so that sort of thing. It's very, very useful.
Yeah,
very helpful.
I agree, Andre. I agree, and I think that what this pandemic has done, at the very least, is brought people together. So I know that when we hear of people talking about prayer and faith and believing God, they talk about prayer and praying for this pandemic to be over. They talk about prayer and praying for each other's health, prayer and praying for each other's safety, prayer and praying for each other's well-being, and I think all of that is important. So that pandemic, I think, might have helped us elevate our faithfulness and our belief in God and in our
Absolutely.
powerful being. Um, the sad part is, I have always enjoyed going to mass, whether it be the weekly masses with the family or the daily masses that I can sneak away from the clinic to attend a weekday morning mass. That's been a bit of a miss, but I enjoy being able to do online masses every day. So there was a period of time where I was up in Vancouver with my family, with my parents, and we were doing daily masses every day.
Right.
And then there's sometimes here where I'm sitting, like today, I'm sitting with Trish and my youngest son Nathan, and we enjoyed an online daily mass. So
Absolutely.
that faith and faithfulness and prayer and belief in God, and believing in God that we will get through this. And I always like using the phrase, "We'll see you on the other side." We'll get through this, and we'll see you on the other side of this pandemic. Um, Healthy, well, and stronger, right?
Yeah, I know. One thing that this pandemic has done in terms of faith and prayer is it's opened up a huge, whole new set of resources that I didn't know existed online. So this is something that you can use for the rest of your life, finding different resources. Outside of just going to church physically, there's so many things you can learn online.
Yeah.
So many podcasts, so many different video casts you can do. There's so much out there that can enrich your spiritual life and just different ways of meeting with other people in your church setting as a group online. It's really literally opened up a whole new world of how to pray as a community.
Yeah, yeah. Neat things to talk about. So I'll invite people to drop us a comment, any word, phrase, sentence that you want us to talk about. We have been sharing about ways to manage stress and anxiety through this COVID-19 pandemic. We did share some of the strategies that we felt that worked for us and through our own experiences. So at this point, feel free to drop a comment for us, and we'll be able to talk a little bit about that. So sorry, I had to hide a couple comments with regards to Fortnite. So it looks like someone was dropping Fortnite messages for us. So we're not playing Fortnite today. We are talking about a very important and critical piece of health and well-being, which is managing stress and anxiety through this pandemic. So as we do go through that again, it's for entertainment purposes only. We're not sharing medical information, but we're just talking about our own experiences, hoping that it will be helpful for someone.
I know the pandemic has definitely enriched a lot of people's family lives. Now that you're spending more time with your family members in, social distancing, uh, you have to find the balance of, getting on each other's nerves versus, spending quality time. So it can be a bit of a challenge, I guess, for some families. But this is, I think this is a golden opportunity for families to use this
Yep.
opportunity to do things that they normally would not be doing because everyone has their lives and they may not be all in the same roof at once. So, having dinners together,
Mm-hmm.
just having family time together, game night, watching
Yeah.
Netflix together as a family, doing things not necessarily also, things that are unrelated to like being on your cell phone all day or using, playing on the Xbox all day. I know a lot of families are doing a lot of walks outside, nature walks, doing a lot of family-related activities that normally would not necessarily be done because of the busyness of people's schedules. So
Mm-hmm.
that is a great way of not only reducing stress as a family, but in getting to get that sense of familial bond that that can definitely be strengthened.
Yeah. And I think that went to one of our points about exercise. So getting out there and walks in nature, hikes, walk around the block, walk around your neighborhood, that's important. Gets you out in the fresh air, gets you out in the sunlight, sunshine, and gets you active and moving. But again, you talked a little bit about creativity. So being creative with your exercise regime, try something different, try something new, make
Absolutely.
something. If you've never tried badminton, go play badminton in the park. If
Very
you
good.
haven't, if you haven't gone on a hike, go walk
Yeah,
in a nature hike or a nature trail somewhere.
absolutely.
So those are fun things. And tomorrow, hey Dre, tomorrow I've got this hiking video that's coming out. So
Oh, really?
we did a couple family hikes through local
Oh,
hiking
nice.
trails here in the Palm Springs area, and
Oh,
so
that'll be
that's
cool to
going to
see.
be released tomorrow.
All right,
So
I'm looking
that'll
forward
be
to that.
interesting. We've got a comment from GMT. Hey, Pat and Dre, how can we assist young teens with anxiety? So that's an important question because when I look at the young teens, so you look at any age range, but especially the teens and the young adults, as they're going through many changes in their lives already, whether it be physical changes, whether it be developmental changes, people who are going from elementary school to middle school or elementary school to high school. And as I've experienced my daughter who just graduated from high school and making that transition into college, there's a lot of anxiety there. There's a lot of stress there. So the key, I think, is just talking to them about one, feeling valued. You want them to feel valued in what they're doing, right? You want them to feel valued that they've done something, they've succeeded in something, and they're moving on to the next level. Whether it be my youngest son who's going from 6th grade to 7th grade, not quite transitional, but making that next level up, or the kid who graduated from elementary school and is going into high school next year. Acknowledging that success, right? You want to make them feel validated. You want to make them feel successful. You want to make them feel valued. So all of the accolades that we can give them, okay, we give them that. I think that'll help with their management of their own stress and anxiety, knowing that they've done something positive. You want to highlight the positives, right? The other thing, too, is everything that we've talked about, and we'll review that again real quick, um, especially for the younger people whose school has been disrupted. For many of our young people, they have not been able to go to school for at least 2 or 3 months. Everything was online, completely unheard of in their world. Never have they done that online schooling. So giving them a routine. So as we review what Andre and I were talking about, giving them a routine. You got to eat healthy still. Wake up at about the same time each day. Go to bed at about the same time each day. And that in itself will put you into a routine or a regime, right? Eating healthy, maintaining proper nutrition and hydration, that's key. That's the basic building blocks of life, food and water, right? So you want to make sure that you are maintaining proper nutrition and you're maintaining proper hydration. The next thing that we focused on was exercise. You need to have activity. You need to be able to get out there and exercise your body for the mental wellness, the mental health benefits, and the physical wellness and physical well-being benefits. So getting out there and exercise. Again, everyone, including our adolescents and young people, their lives have been disrupted. People who are going to the gyms, not happening anymore. People who are relying on school physical education programs, not happening anymore because we are now in this world of social distancing. So be creative with your exercise regime. Go out there, go for walks, go for hikes, ride your bike, maintaining safe social distancing, right? But being out there, get creative with it. Andre talked about his weight sets at home. You're not able to, because for those of you who don't know, Andre is a professional bodybuilder.
No, I'm not actually. That's a lie. No.
Andre has a
Just like to
personal
stay,
trainer.
stay healthy. No, that's it.
No, but Andre used to go. You used to go to the gym. You used to work out at the
Yes,
gym, and
that's
that
right.
doesn't happen anymore because the
Not
gyms are
nowadays.
closed. So
Not
you
that
get
we reached
creative.
before. Okay.
You pull things at home. You do exercise regimes at
Do
home.
what you can, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
get creative with it. In my office, right, at the clinic, I don't have weight sets, but I can do dips on my chair
Very
for
good.
triceps and shoulder work. I can do dips on the chair. I can do sit-ups and push-ups in my office. Actually, I don't want to do sit-ups because I don't go down on the clinic floor. But I do dips and I do
Very good. Yeah.
push-ups on the chair. So you can do stuff like that. All the
There's so many
stretching
things you can do.
exercises that just promote circulation. All of your stretching exercises, you can still do that.
Absolutely. Use what you have in your environment and your own body weight. That's really all you need.
Yeah, yeah. And then GMT also, if we continue going through this, it's staying connected with others. I think our young people still need to be connected with their peers,
Absolutely.
right? So
Yeah.
that might be through whatever social media they have, Facebook, FaceTime, Zoom,
Hmm.
um, uh, Snapchat. They're still connecting with their peers because that is a part of normal growth and development. Our young people, adolescents, will still need to be connected with their peers. So encourage that and promote that in a safe way. Encourage that and promote that in a structured way. But I think that's still important. So for my young children, right? I've got Nathan, who is a middle schooler. I have Haley, who just graduated high school, and I have Brendan, who is college age. I'm encouraging them to reach out and connect with their peers in a social way through whatever means they can. And with social media now, with Snapchat and with their Instagram accounts and with cell phone and texting, they can still connect. They're still going out on walks and hikes and still maintaining social distancing. So there's still that socialization. So
Absolutely.
that's key.
I think also checking in periodically. If you're parents to teenagers, just letting them know that you're available to talk. Just have an open dialogue with them, seeing how they're doing every day. Just encouraging open and honest dialogue, just to make sure they're doing well. Because a lot of just a lot of teens often may not want to share their thoughts and fears to their parents, but just trying to find a way to relate to them. Um, Also being on the lookout for signs of certain mental health issues as well. Depression. All those signs where to be a lack of sleeplessness, lack of appetite, sort of feeling sad and grumpy and just quiet and there's lack of interest and feelings of guilt. These are sort of warning signs to look out for if you're concerned about young people, because young people do suffer a fairly high rate of depression and unfortunately suicide as well. So these are things beyond the scope of what we can give general ideas, but there are obviously
Yeah.
professionals that are out there that are much more have the training and tools to deal with these sorts of issues. But just it's our responsibility as parents and older adults to look out for these signs. Just make yourself knowledgeable on what the signs are, and just make sure your young adults are doing well, and just check up on them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I threw up our disclaimer again. We're not dispelling or prescribing medical information. Everything that we're talking about is experiential on our end. All of the signs and symptoms, though, that Andre has talked about, absolutely be aware of that. Absolutely keep tabs with your younger folks, your teens and adolescents and young adults. And that's part of being connected, staying connected. And Andre touched on that. And if you're finding that there are any of these signs, then don't hesitate to seek help from a mental health professional.
Absolutely.
That's important because you could be saving someone from something that's very serious, right?
Absolutely.
Staying connected with others, I think, also is key, not just for our young people, but for all of us, because our own mental health and well-being is reliant on this. We are, by design, a social being. So we are a social being that needs to interact with people socially. So whether that means that I go out to the grocery store and I say hello to the clerk there, that interaction might be enough for me, or I need to have a deeper conversation with people. But always find a way to connect. And we're so blessed with the technology that we have today. I've been involved in countless Zoom meetings, Skype meetings, Microsoft Team meetings, FaceTime. I use YouTube now as an outlet, and that is a way that I think we can socially connect with each other, share information, share feelings, share thoughts, share ideas, because that's what we're all about, right? So stay connected with others. Connecting our young people to their peers, connecting our young people to the older population, the older generation is important too. We talked a little bit about people who may be isolated in our communities. The person that lives alone, the older person down the street that lives alone, and reaching out and connecting with them, I think ties it in with this next piece, which is being kind. Because small acts of kindness are big things. And even if it means knocking on someone's door just to say, "Hi, Mrs. Smith, how are you today? Hope everything's going okay. Can I do something for you?" I loved that story when I was up in Vancouver and Auntie and Uncle's condo building. There was a sign on the elevator from a college age student that said, "Hey, if you need me to run to the market for you, let me
Mhm.
pick something up for you." This person didn't ask for payment, didn't ask for anything in return other than that positive feeling of being helpful to someone else. That was fantastic. Small acts of kindness are big things. So encourage our young people to do that too. I know that many of our young people volunteer their time, volunteer their effort because that's what we've raised them to do. That might be something that they need to do for their high school or college applications. That might be something that makes them feel good in doing it. But these small acts of kindness continue to encourage that because it's this next generation that's going to change the world. And it's this next generation that we want to instill in them these kind things so that when they perform these small acts of kindness, it grows and it builds and it becomes a force that's going to carry us into the future.
Very good. Yeah, I completely agree with everything you said there.
Yeah. How about rest and relaxation? We talked about rest and relaxation as being important.
Absolutely, especially having a proper number of hours of rest. They say health studies show 7 hours is a good hour. Some people need a little more. Some people need a little less. But it's just getting enough sleep promotes good immunity, good immune system, which helps you fight viruses such as the coronavirus. So that is definitely key. Relaxation reduces stress and reduces the level of cortisol and stress hormones that may lead you to become more susceptible to certain infections. So these are just very basic tenets to maintain health and increase immunity.
Hmm. Hmm. And then we talked about meditation and mindfulness. So, real quick, that just puts you in the moment. Mindfulness really is an awareness of where you are at this space, at this time, at this period of time. So, being mindful of what you're doing and where you're at, being in the present. So, that will help ground you in times of stress and anxiety. So, just stop and focus on your breathing, stop and focus on your feet on the ground, your legs and back of your legs on the chair, your back on the backrest, maybe your arms on the armrest. Just focusing on those things just helps ground you. And just the simple act of focusing on that will help bring your heart rate down. It'll help bring your anxiety down. And it might just mean something as simple as sitting down in your chair, closing your eyes, and feeling the soles of your feet against the floor, feeling the back of your legs against the seat of the chair. leaning back and feeling your shoulder blades pushing into that chair, and then focusing on your deep breathing. So that mindfulness and meditation helps a lot in terms of bringing down one's anxiety and one's stress levels.
I know when I feel my heart rate going up and my blood starting to boil, my favorite thing to do is just to sit down, close my eyes, inhale deeply, slowly for like 6 to 8 seconds, hold the breath for about 6 to 8 seconds, and then slowly exhale for about 6 to 8 seconds, and then doing that several cycles, you know, after after a period of a minute or so, the heart rate goes down. You feel more relaxed. It's something simple you can do. You can do it at work. Seeing in between, doing things at work.
Yeah.
I see patients, and sometimes I do that when there's stressful things that are happening, and it just brings better focus to what you need to do, and allows you to be more productive and less anxious about what you need to do with that for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. So guided meditation, mindfulness, all of that's important. This really wasn't something that I wanted to bring up tonight, but I'm going to because it just came up. And one
Sure.
of the things that I find helps bring down anxiety and stress levels is the 333 rule. And it comes in with a philosophy of guided meditation. So the 333 rule, if you're feeling like Andre was feeling, where now his he's feeling his blood pressure rising, he's feeling his heart rate rising, and he's trying to find a way to bring it down. Think of and remember the 333 rule. So you sit down and you focus on naming three things that you see. So you're in your room or you're in your office and just focus and name three things that you see: the picture frame, my paper clip holder, and my candles. Name three things that you hear. I can hear the siren outside because there's an ambulance across the street. I can hear the guy honking at the traffic light, and I can hear people outside my office talking. And then move three parts of your body. So rotate your wrists, rotate your neck, rotate your ankles. So 333 rule. Three things you see, name three things that you hear, and move three parts of your body. By the time you've done the 333 rule, it's taking you into a different mindset, and hopefully that decreases the anxiety level, lowers your heart rate and blood pressure, and gets you past whatever it is that you are going through. So 333 rule.
I'll have to try that one.
Yeah, yeah. I just learned that actually. I
Hmm.
attended uh, a, a, a mental well-being conference a little while ago, and that was one of the dozen tips or so that was shared. So that was nice to hear. Then we talked about feeling accomplished. So if I go back to GMT's comment of how can we assist young teens with anxiety, feeling accomplished, GMT, is one of the things. We talked about focusing on their accomplishments, giving them accolades, but also guiding them and focusing them on smaller tasks that can get done and that can get completed and that they'll feel accomplished. So small bite-sized things. We talked about making dinner one night, right? Make dinner, get it done, and you feel accomplished that you've achieved something. It could be something as simple as, hey, I want to file this stack of invoices or bills, or I want to sweep the kitchen today, or
Sure.
I want to fold all my laundry and put it away. So these small things that you can do in a relatively short period of time, you list it out, you get it done, you get it accomplished, and that helps you feel that you've done something, that you've achieved something that day. So getting it done. And lastly, we did talk about take a break from the news. So we're hearing things from many different sources, and this type of information overload will tend to increase stress and anxiety. So I would recommend taking a break from the news. You still have to hear what's happening in the world. You still have to hear what's happening in your community, but it doesn't need to be constant. So taking a break from that periodically, listening to the news for X amount of minutes per day and then that's it for that day, that kind of will help you. So taking a break from the news. And that's pretty much all we talked about tonight, helping you, sharing what we find is helpful to reduce stress and anxiety in today's COVID-19 world.
Yes, great. Yeah, I hope some of the comments we made will be helpful to people to our listeners, and just we're all in this together. I think we all need to do our parts, and if we all stay healthy and and be socially aware of one another and socially distant when we have to be, then we can all go through this pandemic and eventually beat it. So
Yeah. So with that, let's just take a little pause and just talk a little bit about where we're going to go from here. I know that we, Andre and I, we tend to do these chats, once a week, twice a week, the last couple of weeks. It's been fun. I think what I want to do is take Andre's suggestion and talk more Tagalog, because that's something that we're trying to
okay,
fine tune.
I am not quite ready at this point, but I can
Yeah, yeah.
do little
In the
bits,
next few
there.
in the next few weeks, pwede tayong salitang Tagalog with each other.
Okay, sige.
And then you can do the
We should.
what is the name of that? Those dance challenges that we see.
Oh, are you kidding?
No.
There's different ones.
Yeah, which one is that? Which one are you going to do there?
The Tootsie slide.
Yeah, no, it's not what
No,
I had
that's
in
not one
mind.
of them.
I'm thinking.
What are some of the ones that I should know about?
I'm thinking you should look it up, Andre. I'm thinking you should be doing the Bini Bining Marikit dance challenge.
Oh, are you talking about Filipino cultural dances?
I'm thinking no.
Okay.
You should look that up and do that. It's the Bini Bing Marikit dance challenge, and you can also do the Banyo Queen, Banyo Queen challenge.
These are the first I've heard of these. Where did you find these?
Look it up, and then we can talk some more.
Okay. Then you'll have to do the Tinikling challenge.
Okay. Hey, I've done that. I used to dance Tinikling.
Then it shouldn't be a problem for you, should it?
That was years ago. So what's up for the rest of the week?
Work.
Yeah. You on call anytime soon?
I was on call yesterday. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not on call till next week. So thank goodness.
Good for you. Good.
The rest of the week off.
Are you off on the 4th?
Yes, I am. So I might spend some time in a small group of family members. So that'll be good for family. And how about you?
Nice. Yeah, I'll be off for 3 days on the 4th.
That's great.
I'll be off for that weekend from the 3rd to the 6th.
Oh, perfect. And so are you going to have probably plenty of family time?
We're trying to figure out what to do on the on the 3rd. We have Haley's debutante's ball.
Yes. So, oh, wow. That'll be exciting.
That'll be fun.
I'm assuming your county has canceled all the 4th of July festivities.
Yeah. They've all been canceled, and what they're looking at doing is, again, social distancing.
Sure.
Even restaurants have been remain closed. There's some restaurants that have opened and maintained a 25% capacity. So, every 1 out of every 4 tables would be seated. But still a lot of takeout and delivery services. And
sure.
Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely a challenge. Have you actually been inside a restaurant since you've reached the next stage in your county or state?
No. The last time we were out, we went to a restaurant here in Indian Wells, and it was at the very beginning stages as COVID was ramping up. So that was months ago, and we still felt vulnerable because we knew what was happening.
Sure.
We still felt like we wanted to be seated away from people, but no. So we have stocked up wine at home. So we'll have glasses of wine, and we'll sit on the patio and and we do a lot of home cooking these days. And once in a while, we'll pick up some food to go. Um, but like you said earlier, a lot of it brought it back to um, sitting at home, eating as a family, preparing meals as a family, sharing and having conversations as a family. And that
Hmm.
was the positive that brought us all together. I'll share with you my gas bill, right? My car's gas bill, because we've got multiple drivers in the house. There's four of us. Um, I was doing well, I won't say the exact numbers, but I I am down almost 90% savings because we're not going out, we're not driving around, we're not and it was close to $1,000. Okay, it was close to a thousand
Wow.
dollars a month on
Oh my
fuel.
goodness. Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Shows you how much do we really need to do all that traveling? Like we can actually save money and do our part to save the environment as well and reduce car emissions, and hopefully a lot of the good habits out of this pandemic, that we've learned now will continue even, once the vaccine is discovered. I'm just hoping that we can maintain these good habits and not go back
yeah,
to the old ways necessarily. So
yeah.
we'll
But
see.
some of it is unavoidable, right? You got to remember, I've got a son who goes to college and who has a part-time job, and I've got a daughter who was driving to her high school, and I drive myself to and from work, and
Obviously, those
Trish
things,
does. So
yes,
there's stuff that you can't
sure. There's
avoid.
something can, but I'm hoping employers will allow, as they're going to allow more and more of their employees to do more days at home to work at work, so that can, that saves a lot of money on and saves a lot of the
Yeah.
pollution at the same time. So
That, that's true. That would save quite a bit for those who can do that. I know
yeah,
that organizationally, I've seen groups that have moved people to work from home temporarily through COVID-19. And part of the conversations now are these people might not be temporarily working from home. It might be more of a permanent setup because
exactly.
it works. It saves
Yeah,
organizations the expense of desk space, office space, and building space, and it keeps the employees at home as long as they maintain productivity and responsibilities are met. But these
exactly.
temporary solutions might be more permanent.
Yeah, it took a pandemic for some businesses to realize this.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But
but
not in our worlds, right? We still need to go where
yeah,
we go.
we are considered, frontline people that need to go into work to look after people. So it's a
Yeah,
little different.
yeah, absolutely. So summer plans, do you have plans for the rest of the summer?
It depends on what's happening with the pandemic. I was hoping to go camping, but we'll see how that pans out. If I'm just hoping our state doesn't fall back into stage 1.5 or something like that. So, um, I like to do more outdoor things. I've sort of slacked off from my exercise now that we've had this talk together. It's given me the encouragement to start exercising a little bit more. So I'll do more of that
Yeah, yeah,
starting
yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah,
So yeah, but hopefully I'll be able to see my family as well, one way or the other.
yeah.
Uh, and hopefully you'll be able to come up and visit sometime
We'll
in the
see.
summer.
We'll
Things
see about
improve.
that. Yeah,
Hoping.
yeah. Well, the summer, typically
Yeah.
by this time of the year, every year, our summer's all planned out. Every weekend
Right.
is planned out, everything. This has been a
Sure.
little bit unusual because of the uncertainty, but things, the schedule is starting to get filled. We've done a lot of time up in the RV, up in the mountains. We'll
Sure.
be up there again this weekend. Um, we're trying to plan a beach trip or a coastal trip. Uh, and then, in a couple of weeks, Haley will have her debutante's ball, so that'll be here locally. That'll be fun, and we'll see. If we get up to Washington State, I'm gonna pay you a visit, and we're gonna hang out at your
There
place.
you
But
go.
we'll
We could
see.
actually do a live log together in the same room.
Yeah, that'll be fun. This has been fun. These chats have been
Yeah,
fun. I
sure.
think I'm hoping that we're um, sharing some information that could be useful somewhere down the line for someone. But at the very least, I enjoy hanging out and chatting with you.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah. And I don't see any new messages on here. I think, Lovely14 said hello to you, co host. That's Andre.
Hello,
Um
lovely 14.
she's our friend from British Columbia.
Right? Oh, fellow British Columbian.
Three
Was that?
Ks twins, they were there, and Maria Mayadera. And I'll figure out how to get things going in terms of getting everyone to meet everyone online too. So we'll figure that out.
Just look it up on Google, as I
That's it. That's it.
say.
Yeah. Early day for you tomorrow?
Yes, I have a day of surgery, so, and then
Yeah.
I'm actually donating blood uh, later in the evening. So that's one thing I like to encourage people. There's a lot of, because of the pandemic, a lot of people may be a little hesitant to go out and to donate blood. So, but because of the pandemic, there's now often a greater need, and especially in certain parts of the country where the blood supply is running short, especially in some of the hotspots that are happening. So I encourage everyone to donate blood. It gives just a little bit of your time. 30 minutes can go a long way in helping others and saving lives. So, and I've done it a few times, and it doesn't hurt, and it's rewarding. It gives you that sense of accomplishment, and knowing that you're doing something something kind for others. So,
Yeah.
active kindness goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. That touches on one of the things that we talked about today. So
Exactly.
I'm glad you brought that up. In the world that we live in now, it's more important for us to be able to do that, to donate blood, because I'm hearing that local blood supplies, blood banks around the country are running critically low. So as people are not going out as much, as people are maintaining shelter in place, these routine donations are not happening. So yeah, go out and do that. Be that kind person and do the small act of kindness. And that helps us to stay connected with others as well. So it kind of captures a couple of things where
Absolutely.
kindness and connectivity. I think that's something that you would benefit from, and you could be helping to save a life of another person by the blood that you donate. So yeah, we encourage you to go out there and do that. I think that's a very good point. So that's for you tomorrow, huh?
That's what I'm doing tomorrow. Yes. So full day,
Yeah, yeah.
and then relaxation.
And rest and relaxation. What
Rest.
about haircuts, man? Where are you getting your haircuts?
I do my. I've done my. As you know, I think we've been cutting our own hairs.
Yeah, I
We've been looking online. We found some YouTube videos on how to
I did that
use
today.
the. Yeah, well,
How does that look? Does that look okay?
look good, man.
I even though barber shops have slowly opened up, I'm still a little
Yes,
hesitant. So
exactly. So
I'll take that and do that here at home, and
yeah,
hopefully be safer that way.
cutting your own hair actually can be fun and rewarding. It's one of those things that you can feel like you're
Isn't that right?
accomplished.
Feel
Yes.
accomplished.
Yeah, it feels like you've gotten something done.
Yeah,
Something new. This
yeah,
is another
I
thing
did
that
it.
we've
Yeah,
learned during the pandemic is how to be self-reliant. We can now cut our own hair. We can now make our own meals,
yeah.
not having to rely on takeout. So, a lot
Neat.
of good come out of this,
Yeah, yeah,
despite all the hardship and all the bad things that have happened. But
yeah,
just some small blessings from it.
yeah. Absolutely. You getting out there though? Are you going out doing exercise outside, cardio?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of trails that are open as long as
Yeah,
you maintain healthy distance from others. So, like
yeah.
to runs, that's what I enjoy. But yeah, and because the weather's been improving. It's a great time just to go outside.
And
And
cycling. I'm sure you do some cycling, right? That's
I
what I
don't really.
enjoy.
I know you enjoy cycling, so if you guys haven't checked out his video his, on the cycling excursions that he's done previously, it's a definite must see. So check that out.
Cycling for health, cycling for a cause. That was
There you go. Yes.
That was a fun video to put together.
That's another thing. You kill a lot of birds with one stone. Just by doing that cycling, you can help others in the cause that you're in. You're going to help yourself with exercise and just a lot of these activities. That's how you maintain a low level of stress. So yeah.
So in that video, I did talk about 3 of my favorite fundraising rides during the year. Tour de Palm Springs, which is a 100-mile ride that I do, that I have done. Tour de Long Beach it's a 62-mile ride, so that's a metric century. And then the CCOD tour, that's also a metric century 62-mile ride. So I enjoy that. The Gawad Kalinga is the charity that CCOD ride benefits, and what I like about that is they help build homes for the homeless in the Philippines.
That's right. They used to be part of Couples for Christ.
Yeah. The Gawad Kalinga group that they build little villages. The last one that they built was let's see here, it was 10 homes that were duplexes, so they benefited 20 families. So they look for corporate and large donors for land, and then they'll build houses. So that's nice to be able to support them. I think I've been supporting them for maybe 5 years now.
Oh, very good. One thing I think you should put on your bucket list or list of accomplishments that you need to be done is get yourself a GoPro. I like to see some live video of some of these bike rides that you go on, so you can sort of recreate some of those 60-mile rides.
Yeah.
Was it 100? What do you call those? 100K. What are they called?
Yeah, so I do
have one.
I have used this. Yeah, I have used this.
Okay. Yeah.
Underwater. So this is what I used in the Philippines when I did when I swam with the whale sharks in Oslob. So that's what that's what I use there.
And it looks work just as well above water. So
yeah, works just as well. Absolutely.
I mean, still shots are great, but it's nice to see some live video shots too.
Okay, we'll piece that together.
You should.
We will piece that together. So I'm not seeing any other comments. I think we're good to go tonight.
Okay, right.
Nice chatting with you.
Thank you.
Is it getting late for you? Because you got to get up pretty early.
I need to. I was up a lot of the night last night when I was on call. I had to deliver a baby at 3 a.m. So I should probably get some Z's soon.
Yeah. Well, rest and relaxation are important.
That's true.
So making sure that you get proper rest.
Yeah, we should live by those words that we're telling others to do, shouldn't we? Practice what we preach.
Yeah. So we'll touch base again. Have a great evening.
You too. Ingat.
Ingat and magandang araw bukas para sa'yo.
Ikaw rin.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I just want to give a quick shout out again. 3K's twins, Maria Miadera, Mom Dells, Lovely 14, and GMT. Thanks for joining us tonight. If you guys have not met up with them, feel free to hit their channels and drop them a link. I'm sure that they'd love to meet you. Otherwise, thanks for joining us. Andre, thanks for joining us from Washington State. Have a good night, everybody. Rest and relaxation. Stay well, stay healthy, and let's get through this pandemic. We'll see you on the other side.
All right, Patrick. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Have a good night.